Thank you. So always impressive. A great little project that I think gets Ben Getz's stamp of approval from Urban Harvest. He is our green guru. And today we are talking about going green for yourself. How can you create that edible garden? It can seem a little bit daunting, especially if we don't have the real estate, the space to be able to do it. But regardless of the size of your plot, growing your own vegetables, growing your own fruit can be hugely rewarding and also very beneficial in a health sense. Why should we be growing our own food, Ben?
There's so many reasons. I mean, obviously with the rising food prices that we're experiencing now, one obvious reason is saving money. But I like the environmental reasons. Rather than importing food, you're growing it on your own doorstep. There's no travel miles, there's no packaging. And then, as you mentioned, health benefits both to body and mind. You're getting the freshest possible food. There's no way to get fresher food. There's no way to get tastier food. And the reward of harvesting your own is unbeatable. Yeah,
there's a deep sense of validation, and you know exactly what is going onto that dinner plate as well. So now, if you don't have a lot of outdoor space, which is certainly the case here in South Africa, a lot of people living in the city, living in flats, where do we begin?
Well, the whole point of Urban Harvest is to make that a reality for people. Obviously, growing indoors is very challenging. A way to start with that would be a very small potted garden on a sunny windowsill. But if you have got outdoor space, even if it's small, a container garden is definitely the way to go. It could be on a balcony, it could be on a rooftop, it could be even a vertical garden. And there's lots of different kinds of containers that one could use.
I love it. My mother instituted, she took an old ladder and has used that at all the different levels to be able to, and it's just a great way of utilizing that space.
Great.
So what ideas can we kickstart with here? Where should our minds be when we want to start this? And bearing in mind that we don't have the green fingers like you, this is our first step.
Well, I love the ladder idea. In fact, this is going to that. I've got a container garden here, which is also upcycled, and I really like that, making use of wasted materials, upcycling it into something useful. I mean, here you've got literally an old milk crate covered with an old coffee bean bag, filled with Hessian sack, filled with a great soil mix, and then planted up with your favorite herbs. In fact, that's a very good way to start, is to plant perennial herbs that are going to last for years. They're very low maintenance. For example, I've got thyme here, but things like thyme, oregano, marjoram, rosemary, those would be a good place to start. And there's so many ways of being creative with waste products. Otherwise, you can, of course, build your own timber planters or buy them at a nursery.
Or maybe set that challenge for yourself to see if you can use something that you've got lying around in a very creative way. Now, you've mentioned a couple of the herbs to possibly start out with. What are great combinations? What grows well with what herb? Where should we begin when starting to put together our beautiful little smorgasbord of herbs to later eat on our table?
Right, so you're talking about companion planting. I mean, there's lots of lists out there. The rule of thumb is diversity is strength. So mixing it up as much as possible. It's good to have a herb, an edible flower, and some vegetables. I mean, for example, broccoli and cabbage and that family, the brassica family, goes very well with onions, leeks, pretty much all the herbs. So you've got companion planting. The other thing to look at is seasonal planting, very important. We're in winter now. You can't grow tomatoes now, but you can definitely grow soft leafy greens, and there's a whole list. It's good to check out your local list because it will vary depending on where you are in the country.
How important, and I'll ask this finally because we're big on indigenous plants here, how important is it when filling your garden, just in general, not just your herbs, to keep it indigenous?
Well, of course, with an edible garden, it's a different story.
Bit more difficult,
but with your garden in general, it's absolutely essential to grow indigenous. It's lower maintenance, and it's beautiful, and you're creating biodiversity. In fact, most of our vegetable gardens, all of our community gardens, have what I call a perennial edge, which shields the garden, creates a windbreak, creates organic matter, and that's always indigenous because those are the plants that are going to be healthiest and encourage local flora and fauna.
And I have to say thank you so much. Those community gardens are feeding hundreds, if not thousands of people. We know this, and kids especially at school who need that nutrient. So well done. Urban Harvest is reaping a beautiful harvest indeed. Thank you so much, Ben Getz, for joining us this morning. And that hopefully will inspire you to go and get creative, but make sure that you grow your own edible garden. See if you can bring about that change in your own life.